Female CEO ran into her ex-husband on the street and tried to leave quietly. However, she noticed her ex-husband suddenly collapsed. She immediately took him to the hospital for treatment. The doctor informed her that her ex-husband was gravely ill. Although they were divorced, they had once been husband and wife. She couldn't bear to see him suffer from his illness. She not only arranged the best treatment for him, but also instructed her assistant to transfer $100,000 to his account for living expenses. After gently touching his face, she left without saying a word. Not long after, the man regained consciousness. Realizing he was in a hospital, he quickly pulled out the floor and tried to escape. He couldn't afford the expensive medical bills. The nurse stopped him, informing him that someone had already covered his expenses. The man suddenly remembered it was his ex-wife who brought him to the hospital. He finally understood that only his ex-wife truly cared for him. He couldn't help but regret the decisions he had made in the past. They had once been a loving couple who built a brick factory together. Initially, the business struggled due to a lack of orders. However, they encouraged each other and refused to give up. Through their joint efforts, they gradually started receiving orders. Within a few years, they turned the factory into a leading enterprise in the region. However, the man made a foolish decision. His aging parents wanted him to stay home to care for them. They pressured him to temporarily hand over the factory management to his younger brother. At first, he firmly refused. But under the weight of moral and filial obligations imposed by his parents, he relented. He decided to entrust the factory to his brother, who promised to manage it well. His brother assured him that the factory would later be passed down to his daughter. Without consulting his wife, he made the decision on his own. His wife was furious and divorced him on the spot, leaving for good. Now, he felt deeply sorry for his ex-wife. He decided to confront his brother and reclaim the factory for her. Meanwhile, the female CEO learned that her ex-husband had left the hospital. She also received his medical report from the doctor. Upon glancing at it, she was shocked and immediately shouted for the car to stop. The report revealed that the man was in the late stages of cancer and had only 3 months to live. At the same time, the man arrived at his brother's villa. His sister-in-law refused to let him in and told him to speak at the door. He demanded to regain control of the factory. However, his sister-in-law flatly refused. She argued that the factory had been small when it was handed over. Over the years, it had grown into a leading enterprise under their management. Therefore, she refused to return the factory to him. The man was furious and warned her to return what rightfully belonged to him and his ex-wife. His sister-in-law refused and shouted for help, accusing him of harassment. Neighbors came out to see what was happening. Taking advantage of the commotion, his sister-in-law retreated back into the villa. Unable to enter, the man decided to go to his parents to resolve the matter. His brother, who witnessed everything, remained unbothered. Walking on the street, the man felt extreme pain but did not go to the hospital. He planned to discuss the matter with his parents first. Coincidentally, his father called to ask where he was. When his father saw him, he scolded him for not buying more alcohol. When the man mentioned his cancer diagnosis, his father didn't believe him. His mother accused him of lying. Before he could bring up the factory, his father demanded that he transfer all his shares to his brother. His sister-in-law immediately handed him the transfer documents to sign.